Hello everyone and welcome along to the penultimate episode of What the Ruck Happened. That's right, this is the second to last one to be made about the Rugby World Cup. So this is, if you're new to the channel, an opinion piece by myself talking about the most recent action of the Rugby World Cup. Of course, today is the second last. We'll be covering the fourth playoff between South Africa and Argentina. Then to follow this, hopefully only a few hours later, should be the big one, the grand final, What the Ruck Happened. Final episode of the series as we follow the Rugby World Cup. Now, is this something you will want to see again later? Let me know by giving the video a thumbs up if you want to see more of What the Ruck Happened when we get into latter competitions, when rugby kicks back into gear. Plenty going on in the Northern Hemisphere at the moment, plenty to cover. Is this something you'd like to see permanently on the channel? Let me know. Thumbs up in the comments. Let me know what you think. But today, the second to last episode, the third versus fourth playoff. Who will take this minor match that's so disinteresting to a lot of sides? It was the Springboks versus the Pumas, and a match that did have a decent first half but petered away into almost a niggly affair in the second. It shouldn't be a huge amount to cover in this episode today, so we'll dig straight into it. This man, it was the loser, Argentina, losing to Australia, and of course South Africa going down by a couple of points to the All Blacks, who are facing off for this battle. These sides haven't met each other, so it should be all to play for here. I was kind of questioning at the start of this match whether South Africa would really be too interested in getting the result. Their major priority is to win the tournament. Coming into a fourth playoff, I could understand if they were disinterested and not really at the top of their game to play this sort of matchup. Argentina, on the other hand, I think for them to take third over fourth would give them a huge amount more confidence going into future competitions, and just giving them that confidence as a rugby nation. But how would it play out? We would find out over this matchup. South Africa, very early on, were having control of the ball, and they were using their width instantly and all the time they could. Very early, very wide, using the backs. Where was this during the competition when they were still in the running for the cup? A great back line, and they showed how good they are very early on. Argentina got off to a pretty bad start though. Just 4 minutes into the match, it was scrum half Thomas Kubeli who got a yellow card. Just 4 minutes into the game, we're already starting to rue the yellow card situation once again. Still going over 1 card per match. Kubeli was gone for 10, pinged up for not back 10 metres, tackling the player, taking the tap from the Springboks. Just wasn't much in it, didn't stop the player, deterred him slightly, but fair enough, not back the 10, yellow card. Kubeli was on his way, and instantly Argentina were on the back foot, and then created a chance from that as well, when it was JP Peterson who bundled over in the corner. TMO upstairs was called. Was it going to be the try? The first of the match, over to the winger. It could have been, and in the end it was called a try. South Africa are in the lead, and they started off how they intended to go on as well. But I do question where this sort of intent was against the All Blacks in that semi-final matchup. The try from Peterson was all a big maul from the forwards, just charging up, sucking the life out of the Argentinian pack, and then with straight up, stand-up speed, acceleration from Peterson, and he was over in the corner. Great try. South Africa lead by a converted try to 0. And after just a few minutes of this match, the try was scored in the 5th minute, 1 minute after the yellow card. You just gotta wonder where this expansive play was in the semi-final. It's just the first thing I thought of the game started. They went wide, South Africa, and as they scored, I thought again, where was this? Where was the trust, the faith in their backline to do this against the All Blacks? I thought that was disappointing that they've ripped it out now and not when it could have ultimately won them a match. I thought for Argentina, Moroni was having a fantastic game. I'm really a big fan of Sakino and Moroni for Argentina. I think they had two very, very good future prospects for the Argentina team going forward from this Rugby World Cup. The TMO was called into action for the second time. Brian Habana looking to break that record for the most World Cup tries. A chip and a chase over the top. Bard was just beaten by an arm by Amaracino, who put the ball down in the end goal just ahead of Brian Habana. But this game was all South Africa. It was all attack. It was width side to side, scything runs, beautiful lines, and all to the Springboks. The Pumas were just defending all through that opening part of the match, and the Springboks were content to take every single point that they were given on offer as well. Pollard nailing a penalty in the 13th, 32nd and 40th minute, putting them ultimately at the halftime up to 16 points to nil. But the big thing from this match was very much like it was against Australia, for Argentina that is. Cordero, absolutely outstanding. Now I know I harp on about this kid, but he is sublime, and once again he showed just how good he is. Breaking the line, making outstanding breaks in line, width and speed through. He was just an out and out by himself, the best back in this Argentinian team. He was so good, he was too good for his own teammates, and they couldn't put the support up to him, ultimately giving him not many decisions to make, I should say, whether he could pass, he could look to an option for a kick to a wider player, or even just have that support at the breakdown to have his forwards or his flankers hit the ruck, secure the ball, and go again from quick recycled ruck ball. It just couldn't happen for the Argentinians. Still in the first half though, there was still plenty more opportunities to be had for both sides as well. Kubali, back from the bin, made an amazing break through the South African line. It had to be scored a try. This was the opportunity that makes a good team a great team if they can put it away. Argentina just lack that little final touch that they could become a really world-class side. The break was clean, the break was amazing, the support was even there, but it just broke down, and eventually when it come to the ruck, there was a penalty to the Springboks. They were just too good and annoying and controlling the breakdown with the Springboks. Brian Habana, can he get a break in this match? How many chances had he had already? Open line, just had to catch the ball. He bobbles it, dribbles it, lets it fall, and misses another chance. Just a few metres out from the line, all he had to do was catch it, and it was a try to Habana. He couldn't do it. It was unbelievable. A legend of the game, a legend. And Brian Habana only needed to catch it, only needed the bounce to go his way on other opportunities, and he would be the outright leading try scorer at Rugby World Cups, but he could not take that chance. Andrew Pollard, I thought, was having a very good match as well. Not only off the tee, he was actually running the ball now and then as well, which was excellent to see for the Springbok players, and he was kicking general play. His territory kicking was quite good. The match at this point, just before the halftime break, did start to get a bit testy. The Springboks getting a bit niggled here as Habana let another chance through his fingertips. I mean, that was 3 out-and-out chances that you would typically expect Brian Habana to finish. He blew all 3 of them, and they went to the halftime break 16-0. South Africa with the lead over a scoreless Argentina. But wow, how different this game could have been if we could have seen Cordero, his chance converted, Kubali's chance converted. Habana could have had a hat-trick by now. We could have had at least 5 tries without really going too much out of the way to say that they wouldn't have been scored either. But as it was, just the 1 try from JP Peterson, and in it went for the Springboks. They led by 16 points at the halftime break. Into the second half, and Argentina had a game plan, and they put it into force extremely quickly as well. Sanchez put them on the board with a drop goal straight after the halftime break. That is what they needed. Sanchez hitting it and getting the 3 points. Not a big difference, but it just eats away at that lead from the South Africans. But it was short-lived success for Argentina as Ebenezer Beath put the most awkward try you could ever believe in on the left-hand corner. It was well built up, some quick hands, well worked through the players, forwards and backs, combining alike. Ebenezer Beath, I mean, if you've seen this try, it did look very, very awkward. He didn't really dive, but he didn't really stay on his feet. He kind of shuffled onto his knees and dribbled over into the corner and missed a tackle. It was a strong finish from Etzebeth. He held off a defender in the meantime, but it was awkward looking from the big second rower, but still the Springboks extended their lead, another 5-pointer, and it was 21 points to 3. It was all South Africa just a couple minutes in to the second half. We made our way up to around the 50th minute mark with the two fly halves exchanging penalties, putting the score up to 24 points to 6. The difference now 18 points, Argentina trailing. But this is when the subs come on massive amount of subs coming on, everyone changing everything over the next 10 minutes, and it made me think to myself at that point, look at what we're losing here in global rugby. I mean, the players who were going off for their final time was amazing. You go through the likes of Fernandez Lobby, Aguja, Schalk Burger possibly, Victor Matfield, Brian Habana. The players like those could be making their final appearance in their respective countries' shirts. I mean, you see the talent coming up. I mean, you see the D'Allendes and the Creels, the Corderos, the Maronis, Sakinos, the players like this, the Petties coming in for Argentina, the Isas as well. There's so many great names coming in through Argentinian and South African rugby, but it makes just a little bit of emotion come on when you see guys like the players you're just used to seeing day after day, week after week, fronting up for their country. The Fernandez Lobbies, the Burgers, the Matfields, Habana. What sort of South African team will it be without Brian Habana? He's such a legend of the game, and there's probably players I missed here that are calling it a day as well. Ruan Pienaar, will we see him again? There's plenty of names that could be on their last match here, and it just made me think those guys need fully respects paid of how fantastic they have been for their countries over decades. Some of them have been around for 15 or more years for their country, which is just great for the game of rugby. But the new guys have to step up now. It all starts a whole new ring after this. But the match carried on. I thought this is where it really lost its structure. The game completely broke up, and Argentina were desperately looking to find something to claim in some points or a try or anything they could manage at all. It broke up completely. Both the teams are getting into scuffles. There was a big cluster of handbags being thrown for quite a little while as well, as the two teams really come together for a good old-fashioned bit of niggle, but it was nothing in it. The game was, surely you'd imagine, gone by then. It was the hour mark, 20 minutes to go. It was Argentina behind still by 18 points. Not much left in it at all. And it seemed like it was just a matter of time. The two teams, you're letting the emotions out. The final play for them in the Rugby World Cup, they were both making mistakes. They were stuttering through the match. The defense was ruling the game completely. The attack just seemed unorganised, it seemed unstructured. They seemed like they had no real plan, both teams for that matter at this point, when it really fell apart. The substitutes coming on, Argentina were throwing all the 50-50 balls you could ever imagine. The ball was flying out left, right and centre, most of them not coming off. But that freakish play, Argentina showing that they will be a really fantastic side in the future. I mean, look out, Rugby Championship in 2016-17. I really like the cut of the jib of this Argentinian side. The most thing I thought about this match from Argentina was that they played just like in the Australia match. South Africa were content at this point as we went into the final 10 minutes just to play out time. They were kicking territory, looking to get the ball down the other end and just encase the match in the Argentinian half. Argentina, on the other hand, they were throwing everything at them. They were going offloads aplenty, trying to bust through the line. They were giving everything they had, but South Africa, they were like that boxer in a match. I mean, like Floyd Mayweather kind of player that just gets in the way and then he'll just slow you down. He'll get in a bit of biffo. That's what the Springboks were doing. They were getting niggly under the skin of the Argentinians, who were looking to play some expansive play but just could not get that rhythm into their match. They did get some reward, however, in the 81st minute of the match. It was the big front row Orlandi that stormed over, and it did really wake up what had been a sleepy little passage with the Springboks just trying to nullify and just suffocate everything Argentina were trying to do. Argentina, though, to their credit, they stuck at their guns, they kept things going, kept it in their forwards, got the penalties, attacked the corners, and eventually they kept it tight, kept it in the big man, got the try, Sanchez converted, and a little bit more respectability was put onto the scoreboard. The final score in the end was 24 points to 13. South Africa take third. It is Argentina who will have to settle for fourth. Now, not the most entertaining match you'll ever see in the Rugby World Cup. It's a game that South Africa got out there, played some wit, played some expansive rugby, got the points on the board, and then they shut up shop, knowing their job was done, looking to enjoy what was left of their Rugby World Cup. They'll be utterly, completely disappointed that they had to play in this match. This is not the final they wanted to be. It's not the final they wanted for players who are hanging up the boots either. Same goes for Argentina, but a great effort from the Argentinians to make it this far. You got to feel for the likes of Ireland and that they were upset, you could say, from the Argentinians. Some may say that. I think Argentina was a good enough side to actually take that match, and wasn't a huge surprise to me, especially with who was missing for the Irish at that time. But in the end, South Africa take third, Argentina fourth. Those two sides, their tournament is done and dusted. There is only one match left for this big tournament to finish off the big one, the Rugby World Cup final. That one will be coming to you very, very soon, so keep an ear and keep an eye out for that. It'll be a lot more probably to speak about than this match. I think was just a little bit on the typical third versus fourth playoff match, as they normally are. Neither team a huge amount interested. There's not really a lot lying on it at all, and they both kind of played just for the fun. It's almost festival-like, but got a bit niggly. It was a decent matchup to watch. Argentina, I think, if anyone, they were probably the side who just didn't have that structure. They were half on their plane home. I think that semi-final loss really hit them hard. The Springboks, I think, a bit more professional, a bit more match ready for the next game in the end. And they got third. I think they should take it as a success. I don't think they should fire or sack their coach, whether he is the best man for the job or not the best man for the job, right or wrong, whether he's the man that should be there. I don't think this performance of the World Cup should be what sees him get the boot. I think if they want to change, they have to change for the sake of change, not for the sake of an excuse like getting third at a Rugby World Cup. South Africa, I think I would have really liked to see them play. Australia would have really been interesting for me. Argentina, their World Cup was fantastic. I enjoyed every second of watching the Argentinians, and I cannot wait to see them in Super Rugby and in the Rugby Championship in 2016. Oh, I just cannot wait for that to get underway. Japan and Argentina getting some sides in Super Rugby. That is going to be epic, and I cannot wait for that to get underway. But for now, third, fourth playoff of the Rugby World Cup. South Africa take the win, and that wraps up my time for this matchup. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage from What the Ruck Happened. This is the second to last episode, so like I said at the start, if you're enjoying it, want to see some more of these discussions in future rugby tournaments or future rugby matches, let me know by leaving a thumbs up or leaving a comment, either which you like, and let me know what you think of this series. But for now, I bid you all a fond farewell. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and watching, for watching, listening. Whether you minimize it and do something else while you tune in and listen, it is all good. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into the channel, watching the videos, and I'll see you again very soon for the big one, the Rugby World Cup Final, Australia, New Zealand. Until then, take care.